Okay, so once again, we're going to take digital Cornell notes. So what we're going to do is go into our folder, which is in classroom, right? And then you're going to look for this period, which is period 2, or if you're in period 6, whatever your period is, right? And then you have to look for your Cornell note template, which is right here. So then I click on that. And then I would have to click on File and make a copy. And this is something that we do all the time, right? Which almost feels like a waste of time now because everybody knows this, right? So File, make a copy. And when you make a copy, you gotta make sure that you change the title, okay? So go ahead and put your last name, first initial, and then I want you to put solve systems of equations, okay? And then, okay. So last name, first initial, solve systems of equation. Let me pause for a little bit so you can see. Okay, so whenever we create a new document, you have to click on this folder next to the title. And then you have to put it in the correct folder because a lot of you did the work but couldn't find it. So make sure you find classroom and click on the triangle next to the word classroom. And then you have to find the correct class, whether it's period 2 or whatever, right? So click on that. So that way now your document will go in there. So click on move. Okay, and so now you are in there. So now let's go ahead and fill this out. I'm gonna go ahead and change this so I could fit the screen. I'm gonna write my name. I always have to do this. And the date today is October 21st, right? And the topic is solving systems of equations. It's always the same usually as the title because that's how you're gonna find it. This is period 2, but you should write whatever period you are in. Your essential question, how do you solve systems of equations using graphs? Okay, so because this is really important. So I'm just going to leave it here for a minute. And then what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and copy the question from textbook page 24. You can do it any way you want. You can go into your online textbook and copy and paste. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I have my paper version, and I'm just going to copy number 5. I'm going to put page 24 on textbook, and then I'm going to put number 5. And I'm just going to copy that question on page 24, question number 5, right? Okay. So let me go ahead and pause a little bit as I do that. So there you go. Now I copy question number 5 from page 24 in your textbook. Okay? And so now what we're going to do is we actually have to go ahead and graph this because in your textbook they give you a space in order for you to graph this out, right? So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go into our favorite graphing calculator, which is what? Desmos, okay? So let's go to Desmos. You have your Rubik's Cube, and I know you know how to find your Desmos. There you go. I find my right here. So when I click on it, I can go there. And it's really good that I have my printed textbook with me because I don't have to go back to my notes to look at my questions, right? So let me write my equation. Y equals, right? Do you see that? Y equals, ooh, but I have x plus 2y equals 9. So that means I have to do some switching around, right? Let me see if I can just put x plus 2y equals 9. Ooh, I could actually just go ahead and type in the answer like that, right? Which is not cool, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in the next equation, which is 3x plus 5y equals 20. Oops, 20, okay? And then, what do I see, guys? I see 2 graphs, don't I? But my problem is that I can't see where they are meeting. My answer for the system of equations is where the 2 lines meet, right? Do you remember this? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like scroll out a little bit, and then I'm going to like click on a point, and guess what they do for me? They give me the answer. So what is my answer, guys? Negative 5, 7. That means x is equal to negative 5 and y is equal to 7. Okay? Are we good? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a screenshot of this, obviously, right? Okay. So let's try and remember, you had to press shift and then it was control, right? And then the little boxes on top. And then you have to like highlight the area, and I would highlight maybe up to here, okay? And now I'm done. I'm gonna go back to my notes right here. Now I'm going to insert my graph. Insert, image, and then choose an image to upload. You should be used to this by now, right? Let me try and find my screenshot. There you go. I think it's this one. Oh no, that wasn't it. Okay, let me pause for a little bit. So there you go. I finally found the correct graph. So what I'm going to do is make it small because I don't need it this big. It's like filling up the whole page of my Cornell notes, right? There you go. That's nice and small. I know I have all these space on top. Let me see if this would help. No, not really. Okay, huh? It's called Desmos, D-E-S-M-O-S, okay? So it already gave you the answer, and your answer is -5, 7. What that means is that x is equal to -5 and y is equal to 7. Okay, here's the only problem. This is so easy to solve if you have Desmos. All you have to do is type in the equations, right? But then, when we have to do it by hand, it gets a little bit more complicated, okay? So now let's think about a situation we actually have to use our hand to calculate this, right? In order for us to do that, okay, I want to use something that's called substitution, okay? So now I want you to go ahead and put 5b, okay? Solve the same system of equation using, let's just say elimination, okay? All right. So now this might give you a headache, but let's try this, okay? So now I'm going to have to go ahead and copy this equation again. Then I'm going to have to copy this equation again, right? Okay. So then, if I want to use elimination, now I gotta think, okay? What do I want to eliminate? My first step, okay, is to eliminate either the x or the y. And here's the key. If you want to eliminate the x or the y, you gotta make sure that the leading coefficient here is the same number, okay, or 2 or the 5, right? They have to be the same number but different symbols, okay? But look, this is a 1, this is a 3, this is a 2, this is a 5, right? Obviously, they're not the same number, so we gotta change it so it becomes the same, right? So you know what? What do you think would be easier to change into the same number, the x's or the y's? The x's. What do you think I need to multiply over here in order to change the coefficients to be the same but with different symbols, guys? Yay, okay, so we already did this, didn't we? What did I just do? So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and put my parentheses over here, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply this whole thing by -3. And I'm going to go ahead and just change colors for this one because this is a new thing that we are just doing right now because we want our coefficients for x to be the same. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and distribute the -3 to the x, the 2y, and the 9. Okay? And that's going to give us -3x plus, -6y, and that's going to equal -27. For the second equation, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste, okay? Because it's going to be exactly the same. Now, what we can do is we can go ahead and add and subtract, okay? Top and bottom, okay? And so now, -3x plus 3x is 0. -6y plus 5y is what? -y. And that equals what? -27 plus 20 is -7. Now we cannot have -y, can we? So we're going to divide both of them by what? By a -1. Okay? So we're going to divide both by a -1. And that tells me that the y is going to be what? Oh wow, isn't that what we already got over here? That was the answer, and we got it so fast using graphing. Because we have the calculator, duh, right? But we actually have to learn how to do this. I don't really know why, but we have to, okay? So now let's go ahead and find out what x is equal to How can we find out what x is equal to, guys? Yeah, so I'm going to pick an equation, and I'm going to pick the top equation over here before we multiplied the -3. And instead of the y, I'm going to put the 7. So I'm copying x plus 2 times, and then y was 7, wasn't it? So I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to put a 7 there, right? Now I'm going to go back to black, and that equals -27. So now from here it's pretty clear. X plus 14 equals -27. So now we're going to subtract 14 from both sides, right? And so that is going to give us x equals negative, what have I done? Y is 7, x plus 2 times y is equal to, oh, why did I put -27? This is supposed to be 9. My bad. Okay. Sorry. That's a big blooper. So x is now equal to -5. And didn't we already know that? Because we already got our answer over here from graphing. So again, you guys are, really lucky, because when you take the test, you can actually just use the graph and then write your answer that way. Your answer is -5, 7. But here's the thing. There's gonna be your semester final where you cannot use all this stuff, okay? So therefore you have to learn this, okay? And we're done with this section of the Cornell notes, and I'm going to stop right here, okay? And so basically what I showed you was how to solve a system of equations. Number 1 by graphing, which was super easy, especially using Desmos. And then number 2, using elimination, okay? So make sure you pause if you don't understand something. Please make sure you have your at least minimum 2-sentence summary and left column questions, and these notes are due tomorrow, okay?